The American dream has been hijacked. But the good news is we can take it back. And I believe that we will take back the American dream, which has been hijacked by the liberals in this country, because of that spirit of America that has awakened. It was that same spirit of America that allowed the founding fathers to conceive and start this great nation. They were tired of the oppression of old King George. They wanted to create a new nation based upon a new model. They conceived the Declaration of Independence, which inspired the Constitution of the United States of America. It was that spirit of America that started America, and it's that same spirit of America that's going to get America back on the right track in 2012. One of the great things about the United States of America in its short 235-year history is that when things got the worst and things were the toughest, the people of the nation rose up. They rose up in order to bring about change. A lot of people, when they think about the United States, they think about some of our great strengths. They think about our great military might. They think about the great way of life that we have been able to establish through the decades. Or when they think about the strength of America, they think about our very large economic machine. Even though it's sputtering right now, we still have the biggest, most desirable economy in the world. But one of the strengths that you don't hear a lot about, that has contributed to the greatness of America, that has contributed to the heritage of America, is America's ability to change when it has to make a significant change, like we have done throughout history. If you look at the history of this nation, some of our greatest leaders stepped forward in some of the toughest times in our history. Abraham Lincoln was a great leader, for which this event is named. Abraham Lincoln was a great leader at a time when this nation needed him the most. And I believe that great leaders are born. Good leaders keep working at it. Abraham Lincoln was a great leader. The reason that he was a great leader because he refused to allow this nation to become divided. He was a great leader because he had read it in my leadership books back then. But we have been blessed with great leaders throughout our history. John F. Kennedy was a great leader. He inspired this nation. He inspired this nation when he said by the end of the decade of the 60s, we will walk on the moon. He didn't say maybe. He didn't say might. He didn't say let's take a poll. He said we will walk on the moon. That's leadership. And he inspired this entire nation to believe that we could, and we did, because of his inspirational leadership. Ronald Reagan was a great leader. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great leader. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great leader because he inspired this nation. He changed hearts, which changed minds. And it changed not only this country, but it changed the entire world. Great leaders that we have been blessed with. one of our greatest strengths is our ability to change. And I believe that this nation, the people of this nation, are itching and hungry for some significant change because of the direction that we are going in right now. In the last 3 years, this nation has become a nation of crises. We have an economic crisis. We have an entitlement spending crisis. We have an energy crisis. We have an illegal immigration crisis. We have a foggy foreign policy crisis. We have a moral crisis. Crisis of all is that we have a severe deficiency of leadership crisis in the White House. Early in my career, after I graduated from Morehouse College with a bachelor's in mathematics and a minor in physics, I worked as a ballistics analyst for the Department of the Navy, located in Dalton, Virginia. And I was a ballistics analyst, and my responsibility was to do ballistic analyses on some of the Navy's weapons, their fire control systems. So I developed fire control systems and fire control parameters that would go into the computers on the ships and on the fighter aircraft to make sure they could aim them accurately. And when you're doing a ballistic analysis, the first thing that you determine is, where's the target?
Yeah! Yeah!
What are you trying to hit?
Yeah!
It might seem like common sense, but some people shoot at a target and they don't even know where it is.
Yeah, man!
In business, you start with, what's the problem? Because if you are not working on the right problem, you are not going to solve the right problem. And the reason we're in the mess that we're in is because this administration has not been working on the right problems on any of these crises.